Hey there everybody, Mystery Wheel Gunner back here with you again. Thanks for tuning in. So I bought one of the cheaper weapon lights off of Amazon. I bought the Feyachi HL20 pistol light. I paid $31.99 before taxes. With taxes, I think it climbed to like 35 bucks if I'm rounding off numbers here. So not the cheapest, but obviously one of the cheaper ones. I'm going to go through some of the features, some of the packaging. Then I'm going to go to the range. I'm going to put this on my Chiappa Rhino, which has a rail for a light. And I'm going to see if this can take some 357 Magnum recoil without breaking. All right. Now keep in mind, my purpose here is I'm not trying to convince you to throw away your Streamlights and Surefires or whatever high quality weapon light you're running on your gun. Obviously, you're going to want the best that's out there, the best you can afford for your EDC or for your duty gun, something that you're going to really rely on in a life or death situation. So the purpose of this is, well, I'm curious to see just how good things have gotten. Like maybe 30 years ago, these cheap ones really were kind of like toys. But I wonder, just kind of like how the red dots, you know, the cheapo red dots now are actually pretty darn good compared to the cheapo red dots of, let's say, 20 years ago. In fact, some of the cheapo red dots now are actually on par with some of the high-end ones that were around, like, let's say, 25 to 30 years ago. Technology has improved, manufacturing quality has improved, so let's see just how good the cheapy weapon light is these days. Okay, first off, the packaging, pretty nice. Oh, as an aside, real quick, is it just me, or does it look like they're trying to kind of co-opt the vibe from Ferrari? Look at the Feyachi font, look at the Ferrari font. Yeah, I know that doesn't really count for much as far as quality and durability, but you know what? It was kind of nice to see that. Comes in a nice package. They could have just thrown it into some, plastic baggie, but no, it comes in a nice box. You've got the, the foam padding for shipment. You get 4 batteries. These are the CR123As, and it takes 2 of these to power the light. So obviously you have an extra pair here because you get 4. It comes with a little baggie. You have your little tools in here, plus you have the keys. Basically, you have different lugs. They call them the keys. I call them the lugs, so that you can pick the lug that fits your weapon lights, or that fits your weapon's light rail. Alrighty then. Let's install some stuff here in order to get to the, here, let me reposition my camera. And sorry if you hear any extra noise in the background. We're under a heat wave, heat advisory, and I am not, I repeat, not going to turn off my air conditioning. Okay, hopefully that's better here. I know, I got a real bad lighting setup. Okay, let's install the batteries first. You've got this little latch right there. You're just gonna pull on it and flip over the latching mechanism. Just like that, pretty simple. And this rear end comes out, it's kind of like a plug. So it just comes out like that. Orientation for the batteries is right there on the side. All right, so on this side, obviously, it's going to be like that. And on the other side, it'll be the opposite. When it gets darker, I'll do a little lumen test. All right, then you just reverse the process here. Am I doing this right? Oh, hold on. Do I have it oriented correctly? All right, now I do, I think. As I fumble on camera. How embarrassing. There we go. Come on. There we go. And then you latch it in place. I don't know if I feel secure about that little latch. It does feel kind of flimsy. So I don't know. All right, let me turn this off real quick. Wow, you know what? I mean, I might not even need this little desk light as it starts to fall off. Okay, so the little controls look a little off center. Or is it that just me? It looks like they're a little cockeyed from the factory, but hey, it's a $32 light before taxes. But anyway, it's pretty simple. Whoa, okay, that's pretty bright. Up, yikes, that's bright. Up on the left side is your continuous, and then if you push down, that's your momentary. And obviously it's reversed for the other side. Okay, if you go to the other side, then it's down for your continuous, and then up for your momentary, and that's it. I looked through the instruction manual. There is no strobe, so it's just momentary or continuous, and that's it. But for a basic weapon light that's 32 bucks before taxes, hey, I'll take that. All right, as I said, I'm going to install it on a Chiappa Rhino. Let me get that out real quick. Okay, here's the Rhino. We are empty. This looks like a Picatinny. So that's going to be what? The 1913. This comes from the factory with the Glock rail key. And they are marked. So the Glock one has GL on it, which stands for, of course, Green Lantern. And since I think this is a Picatinny, and look for the one that says either Pic or 1913. Here we go. Here's the 1913 one. And let me go ahead and do a test fit. Perfect. This is the one I need. So we'll set that aside. Here's your little tools. Allen key and your screwdriver, so to speak. Let me put the other keys in. Set that aside. All right, so all you're going to do is, there's the little bolt that holds the key in place. So we're just going to loosen. Whoops. Can you tell I'm not really mechanically inclined? Take that out. Put in 1913. And thankfully these are manufactured, so they're kind of foolproof. Even I can't screw this up, I don't think. They only go in one way. There we go. Hopefully I'll do it again. I wasn't looking at the camera. I don't know if I got it right in frame, but they just drop in there, and there's only one way they can drop in. And then you just tighten that back up. Now, one thing that might concern some of you, even though the body here is aluminum alloy, the rail keys, okay, they are plastic. They are polymer. So that could be a concern. That could be, you know, let's face it, Polymers are nice, but they're not as durable as metals. But okay, that feels tight enough. And then all that's left is to mount it on the Rhino. Positioning is, is important, because you want it to look cool on the gun. Just saying. Hold on, let me get this loosened up all the way. Once you loosen this, then you're going to push. See that? See how it gives you more room? So that's what you're going to do. I'm going to put it all the way back. There. Does that look cool? Do you think that's the coolest position? I think so. So we got it mounted. Yes, I know, I just put my hand in front of the muzzle, but it is not loaded. So everybody calm down. It's one of the first things I showed you. Not loaded. As I bump my own camera stand. So here's your little makeshift screwdriver. All right. Looks pretty good, huh? I think so. So only thing left to do, load it up and take it to the range. Okay, before I go to the range and possibly break this thing, might as well do the quick illumination test. As you can see, it is completely dark in my house. There is no way you can navigate with this level of light. All right, let's kick it on. Okay, first off, please excuse the mess you see in the background. That is my reloading room, and yes, it's in the middle of being reorganized. All right, the important stuff. It is 23 feet from me to the back wall of that room. So, close quarters, indoor environments, yeah, the illumination is perfectly good. All right, got the Chiappa Rhino out here for testing day. Here's the test procedure. I'm going to shoot 12 rounds of .357 Magnum and then test for function. If the light is still alive, I'm then going to pour some water over it to test out the IPX5 rating. And then if it's still alive, shoot another 12 rounds and then once again check to see if it's still alive. All right, so before I load it up, let's do the check. Momentary works and continuous works. All right, time to load it up and start shooting. Okay, I've taken the gun, or I've taken the light off the gun because I don't want to pour water all over my Rhino. It's nickel plated. I'm sure it's got a good IPX rating, but it's kind of been heated up from shooting. I don't want to just pour water on it. Anyway, let's see if it still works. There's the continuous, there's the continuous, and there's the momentary. So it still works after 12 rounds of .357 Magnum. I'm using 158 grain bullets, by the way, in case you were wondering. All right, and the one concern I had, the latch coming loose, did not come loose. All right, time for the water. Now remember, it is an IPX5 rating, so we're not going to submerge it. That would be unfair, because that would be beyond the rating. But it is rated for low pressure stream at any angle. So that's another reason why I took it off. It should be waterproof even on the side where the rail is going to be. Pour some on the back. All right, this is Obviously there's a lot of water, but it is low pressure. This is a low pressure stream. All right, that should be good enough. Yeah, still alive. Both continuous and momentary. Tested on both sides. There's the momentary, there's the continuous. So, still holding up pretty good, but let's do another 12 rounds of 357 Magnum. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. There's the continuous. There's the momentary. I'll test the controls using the other side. There's the momentary. And there's the continuous. So, yeah, successful test. Survived 24 rounds of 357 Magnum, 158 grain bullets, and also survived the IPX5 water test. So, you know, for a $32, well, 32 plus tax, for that price, it's, you know, it has exceeded my expectations. And again, I'm not telling you to put this on your EDC or on your duty gun, but you know, you just need a light for your at-home gun that doesn't see a whole lot of rough use. You know, you're not crawling through rocks, you know, or crawling over rocks or crawling through the mud, or, you know, you're not investigating some haunted mine shaft or anything. Yeah, I think this will be all right for your stay-at-home gun.